Our guests today, we've got a couple conference champions from swimming, head coach Oscar Ramirado and Sophia Ferreira. And from wrestling, head coach O.T. Johnson with Shylene Scriven and Logan Robinson. All right, so like I said, a couple conference champs, as you can see by the trophy here. Back-to-back conference champions. We'll jump right in and talk about that, Coach. Obviously, another great season for you guys. One, what have you learned about this group throughout the season? And two, what was the feeling like getting to hold that trophy for the second year in a row?
Well, I learned a lot from these girls. Resiliency first. You know, we have a lot of diversity during the year, but the girls never give up. They keep working hard through the year, and at the end of the day, work pay off. So they work hard, and at the end of the season, we see the result.
And then, Sophia, just from a swimmer's perspective, just how much fun has this season been, and what have you learned about this team?
It was such a fun, enjoyable season, and all the freshmen that came in were so determined and committed to swim as hard as we wanted to. And we had a smaller team this year, so we had to prioritize quality over quantity. So we had to focus on the small details, such as our technique, our flip turns, and it actually paid off at the end. And I learned about the team that we had such an amazing resilience, because even with the challenges we faced, having to drive to Rayford, we still were able to overcome them, and it just brought us stronger and stronger.
And then for OT, kind of an up and down season, at least for the standard you guys have set over the years. What have you learned about your group throughout the season?
Well, obviously, it's good to have some great senior leadership. We have, I think we had 8+ guys that walked and senior night. So those guys, whether they've been in the lineup or just being guys that have been here over the course of the last 5 years with COVID, they've been able to show a lot of resilience, bring some of the young guys on that have helped us kind of get to where we are currently. And again, we've dealt with a lot of the injuries as well, and I think having some depth has really helped us, plug some guys in there and give them experience on why they're, waiting for their turns. And we've learned a lot about ourselves as coaches, and be able to manage our workload and while we're also competing at a pretty competitive schedule this season. So we got really paid dividends, and unfortunately we weren't able to get in that position like Oscar and the girls did, but I think those extra weeks all kind of are going to pay off as we got a little healthier and got a chance to train a little bit more to get ourselves ready for the regional tournament. So it's been up and down, but it's also been a try and error for us and the kids as well.
And then for Logan, just from your view, what have you learned about this team and maybe something about yourself throughout this year?
Throughout this year, we've learned that we can handle adversity really well. We had a lot of ups and downs, but we have a big team, and all those guys are in there pushing each other and working hard. So just getting through adversity and handling our business every week.
You guys mentioned adversity. I'll start with you, Coach. Sophia kind of mentioned it with having to travel for practice. Just kind of talk about that challenge, and then how proud of this group are you for them just dealing with it and not letting it get away success?
Well, it's every year you can have challenges. I mean, every year is a new season, but it's how you fight against the adversity that make a difference. So that was the situation. We had to travel every day, going down 40 minutes, coming back 40 minutes, be there 2 hours. It is what it is. I mean, we were here at practice like we were here at home. We were hoping we'd come back earlier than that, but not something extra happened. And we keep fighting, we keep practicing. And at the end of the day, those hours help us to increase our unity and be more concentrated on our goals. And the girls were resilient and they try, and it's what we came home with.
Then Sophia, just how did you guys stay positive throughout that situation with having to travel and not having any home meets? What does that say about you and your teammates?
Yeah, it was a pretty stressful start of the season because of the car rides, and coaches know I need car rides. It was tough for me, but as we only had one practice per day, the girls kind of needed their own improving that practice, so it made us just push harder and harder because really it was our only chance to practice of the day. So we were giving 110% every practice we had, and this made us stronger at the end of the day.
You know, T, you kind of touched on it with some of the adversity you guys faced. Just what's the message been to your team throughout the season as far as staying focused on the task at hand?
I think for myself and the staff, is just being able to make sure the guys remember, you got to manage what's in front of you. And once you do that, once you do a good job of that, I think the next thing should be easier because you kind of dealt with that. And one of the great things we did this season to kind of prepare the guys, we put together a pretty stout schedule. We've traveled to the Midwest, up north, and obviously wrestling a lot here in the Carolinas and going to distances that they're going to be comfortable with. Obviously, one great thing about going to the Midwest is our national tournament is going to be in the Midwest. And another great thing about dealing with adversity, I think there's a handful of our guys that have some injuries that put them out for a handful of weeks that they would have to sit and watch. And I think in sitting and watching, they were able to learn a lot about wrestling and how they can benefit from getting better at wrestling without being on the mat. You saw some of those guys getting on the mat and helping their teammates because they saw things that they didn't realize, could benefit their wrestling. But when you see something from being for not competing and you're trying to help your teammate get better at that, you're also coaching yourself, which is huge. From a training perspective, sometimes it's great to step back and see it from the other side. And I think the guys were able to do a lot of that this season, and I think it's helped them grow, and it's helped us grow as staff as well. So we've been fortunate. Every adversity is an opportunity to get better. I think we've gotten a lot better this season than where we've got.
And then for Shiley, obviously had a great amount of adversity to deal with earlier this year. From thinking your career was over to then NCAA granting you an extra year, just talk about what that range of emotions was like and what it means to be back wrestling.
The emotion was very high. I mean, having coaches like Bryce Walker, Scotty Joel, Nick Daggett, and Coach O.T. telling me to be on my feet off, just enjoying the moment. The story's already written, but all you can do is just focus on the next day and in the moment at a time. And for me, I'm grateful because having that adversity has built my character. And like Coach O.T. said, just being able to give back to my teammates because it may happen to someone else. So you may be able to just give that knowledge to someone else. And that's what I'm most grateful for about it. It's not specifically just the wrestling, but the knowledge that I built. So.
And then Logan, initially we're going to redshirt this year, decided to pull it and wrestle, currently 12-6. Just what was that process like and what made you decide not to use that redshirt?
I mean, in the beginning of the year, I was just ready to put my best foot forward, whether that's redshirting or, stepping on the mat. And I trust my coaches and I trust what they see. And if I can go out there and handle business, then why not wrestle? So, I have the best training partners in the country. I have a ton of training partners who get different looks. So why not get out there?
I'll stay with you, T. Obviously a huge weekend coming up for you guys, hosting the NCAA regional tournament. For those that don't know, can you just give us a quick breakdown of how that process works and then tell us what preparation will look like this week heading into it?
So with our region, we have I think 13 teams that are going to come to Pembroke on Saturday and compete. But before we compete on Saturday, we got to go in the war room on Friday night. There's going to be a lot of contention and where a guy sits, where he should be seated. Based on his season record and who he's beaten, who he hasn't beaten, and we've already seen there's already been some craziness going on with the all conference voting. So Friday it's going to come down to some strategic placing of guys and trying to make sure that our guys get put where they're earned, not what people think they should be. So Friday night we're going to do the seedings, and then Saturday we're going to get after it. Obviously, you can have a great season, you can be ranked #1 in the country or ranked very high in the country. But Saturday you got to bring it. Your whole season can be over on Saturday, or if a guy hasn't had the kind of season he's wanted to have all year long. And again, this is why we put our guys through so much adversity. They'll be prepared to kind of deal with anything because you can have a sub 500 record, and if you take care of business, finish top 3 in your weight class, you qualify for the national tournament. And that's something that, being at UNCP, having the facilities to be able to host an event like this, one of the few schools that has the proper facility to host this and host all these teams and put on a quality event, and obviously having a pristine staff to help us. It really puts our minds at ease as a staff that we can go out there and just do our jobs, get our guys ready to compete, and get them qualified for the national tournament. So Saturday's gonna be fun. You know, our guys are used to having this event at home. I think both of these guys have wrestled at home in their regional tournament a couple times, so they'll be familiar with it. So that's one less obstacle they have to try to figure out and what it's like to compete in an event, let alone compete in an event at home. So I think it's a unique opportunity for our guys, the young guys as well, that haven't had a chance to do this in their home gym, and we're ready to rock and roll. So I think the adversity we had this year has really prepared us to kind of take this bull by the horns and tussle with it.
I'll go back to you, Logan. National qualifier a couple seasons ago. What was that experience like going as a freshman, and what's kind of your game plan going into a tournament where you don't really know anything about the guys you're facing?
It was very surreal. I mean, no one really expected me to qualify, so a lot of guys were kind of stunned and you know, just kind of counted me out. And then when it happened, kind of just tried to keep my head on. We have nationals in 2 weeks. I had to prepare, so just kind of looking forward, keeping that tunnel vision, and then going into the tournament, we still scoped our guys out, so I knew my game plan and what those guys' best shots were, and OT and all my coaches, helped me out and got me ready. So we plan on doing the same thing this year.
Then Shai, you joined Logan at the Nationals 2 years ago, but I want to get your take on the mindset going into the regional format. Obviously, you want to win, but just make the top 3 to qualify for Nationals. So is your game plan different at all at the regional, based on what you're trying to do at finals?
Yeah, my game plan is way different. It's just about being free. I feel like in the past I was put too much pressure on myself, and this year is more just being out there, being relaxed. I mean, I feel like when I'm more relaxed, I'm more dangerous, and that's the ability that God really gets exposed out of it. Going into this weekend, I'm just trying to have fun, take day by day, and enjoy my teammates really. Because being a senior, I'm not going to get these times again. So just really trying to just focus on each day, and just all wrestling is all the same. Just because the regional training don't make it a big deal. I know how to wrestle, my teammates know how to wrestle, and we know how to win. So yeah, that's all.
And then Oscar, you guys had 2 swimmers qualify for Nationals last season. Like OT, can you just explain how that process works as far as qualifying and what that experience is like now that you've been 3 different times?
Well, swimming is about time, so to qualify for national, you gotta have one of the top 25 or 30 times in the year, the whole D2. So it's very tough, and every year the level is getting higher. So last year we had 4 girls with the cut, 2 girls were invited. This year we have 6 girls with the NCAA cut. So just because you have the NCAA cut doesn't mean that you are invited. So we have to register, and the process will come back with a list of the girls invited to the national. So we've done better this year in terms of girls qualified times, but definitely it's a tough race. So last year we had great experience. We have the first All-American on our team. Hopefully she will try to win again this year. It's not going to be easy, but we can try for sure.
And then Sophia, just from your perspective at the conference tournament, swam multiple different times between prelims and finals. Obviously you want to do well individually and try to qualify for nationals, but at the same time you want your team to do well also. How do you keep a good balance of wanting to push it individually, but knowing that you got a team full of girls counting on you?
As much as swimming is an individual sport, as a guy in college, I noticed how much of a team we had to be and how much of a team sport it became for me. So even though everyone wants a PB in your race, as much as I did, I had to think as a team. So always be there for my friends, always cheer for them is extremely important, because at the end of the day, conference, we can only win as a team. So even though I got my personal best, other people have to do it too. So I would always cheer for them, I would always be there for them. And it paid off because we won conference. I got my personal best, so I'm extremely happy. Yeah.
And Shai, just what was the recruiting process like? You both coming out of high school and then coming out of junior college, and ultimately what made you want to be a Brave?
So funny story is I've always wanted to be a Brave. I remember seeing Rodney Shepherd at some tournament at NC State Open, and I was like, yeah, I want to be at Pembroke. And I didn't get into the school coming out of high school due to some grades and stuff, but luckily I had a coach that went here and took the JUCO route at Spartanburg Methodist College, Coach Juan Stimson, which he was in contact with Coach OT. So after that year, I already knew my plan to come here, and it all worked out. And I just feel like I'm meant to be here. You know, this is my family, this whole staff, and I just feel like this is the place for me. So.
The same question for you, Logan. What was that process like, and what made you want to be at UNC Pembroke?
It was just the culture. I took like 4 visits here. I went like, regionals during the summer, all sorts of visits, and it was mainly just the culture. I mean, I went to other visits and saw other schools, but they weren't as put together, so to speak. And the team, you could just tell like these guys treat it as like a family. It's not you're on the racing team. You're part of this family, and it just set them apart. And so far, it's been great.
And then OT, I'll give you a chance to brag on these two a little bit. Just what have they meant to you and your program?
Hey, you know, 2 guys, obviously they're not the same age, but 2 guys that have grown into their position in the team on the roster. You know, just like these guys say, you know, it's a family. No family's perfect. We've had our ups and downs, and I think if you have something, anything like that, it's all peaches and cream all down the road, and it's not real, it's fake. And I think for us having some shortcomings in our highs and lows has really helped us, you know, bring these guys in. When these guys come and visit, you know, we do what we gotta do as a staff, but you know, the people that are gonna be around on a regular basis are each other teammates, and we try to make sure they're around those guys because those guys are gonna live in there. And both of these guys, like you know, Charlie said, out of high school, his senior year, and he came out and told him, you can't come to our school, you know. But again, because we built such a great family, you know, at the time Juan was at a junior college, so we knew where we could send him to where he was already going to be, have our culture ingrained in his head. When that time came for him to get here, so when he got here, he understood what UNCP wrestling was about, and he kind of hit the ground running. You know, again, just dealing with that adversity, he knew because he went through the same thing that Juan went through. Juan put him through as a junior college athlete, and just Logan, just you know, a guy that's been well traveled. I think he wanted somewhere where he can be where his feet were, and not have to bounce around being a military kid. So when he came on his multiple visits, we made sure, you know, we try to get him here where you know we were competing. We get him here where we were in Kansas, so he can kind of see us off the map and not just coaching. Because you know, I think I was double this. You know, we're around these kids so much out of their playing arena that you know they need to understand when they get here. You know, you're gonna see OT Johnson in the hallway. You're gonna come to the office. We're gonna talk shop. We're not gonna talk wrestling. We're gonna talk about what's going on outside of life. And you know, when these guys come in and visit, they're like, "Is that real?" No, it's real. You know, but some of them don't believe it. But at the end of the day, you know, these 2 guys have been huge leaders in our program. I mean, they have their friend groups, but they're also around each other enough to know, hey, Shot's not doing well. I need to go check him. Logan's not doing well. I need to go check him. And then they can do the same thing for the younger guys in the squad. And with us having a robust roster, it's been good having older guys with older leadership that can kind of keep the core together and kind of hold everything together. So it's been good having these guys. Obviously, we get an opportunity to have Logan for at least another year, maybe 2. And I know Shy's graduating, but he's not leaving. And that's one of the things I pride myself and our staff on this. When these guys graduate, we don't take it to the curb. We want to get invited to their weddings. We want to get invited, invitations that they're having kids. And I want to be called to ask my opinion about a job, and that's important to us because, again, I love basketball, I love football, I love baseball. These guys ain't gonna go sign, 6-figure contracts, 7-figure contracts. They gotta go out and get a real job. And the things they learn from us as coaches is what's gonna help them, go out there and compete, even harder in the real world.
Then Sophia, a little bit of a farther trip for you to get here from Brazil. The same question for you. What was the recruiting process like, and what made you choose UNC Pembroke?
So I was actually looking at the student ranking, and I thought UNCP had been stronger, especially for long distance, which are my events. So I actually contacted Coach Oscar first, and we popped up in a meeting, and it was so fun. He explained the whole student program, the athletic program, how strong the Braves community was. regarding to athletics, and I got extremely excited. And also the school is a great environment. It has my major, which is kind of a difficult major to find in many schools. So when I heard about the diversity of the grades, I was extremely excited, and I closed with Oscar. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. Both coaches, they take care of us so much, and they treat us like their own daughters. And I just have to thank them for everything they have done for us.
And for Oscar, same question for you. What does Sophia mean to you in your program?
She's one of the major factors of our success, and other girls, of course. You know, I try to recruit girls that bring more than just swimming, but in this sport, you have to really be driving. I mean, it's brutal. Our practice is getting tough. So you gotta have girls that are here with the right mind, of course, and Sophia and the other sophomore like her and the new freshman actually elevate the level of our team, and that's the direction we want to go. Every year we try to go better than the prior year. You know, sometimes we have the stumble, but so far we've been successful, and it's only because we have girls like Sophia and others in our team.
For our student athletes, I want to go back in time a little bit. I'll start with you, Shai. What was your sports background growing up? And when did you kind of realize that wrestling was going to be your best sport?
So growing up, I always thought I would be in the NBA or something like that. I don't know why, but I played football too as well. But it just all kind of worked itself out because I got hurt my senior year in football, first game, and the doctor gave me 3 options. He said either you can quit football, or either you can get surgery, or either you can stop playing and hopefully wrestle, or you can just get surgery. And so I chose the second option, was to just wrestle, and it all worked out itself, you know. And that's why I'm here today. So.
Same thing for you, Logan. Did you play any other sports, and kind of when did you know that wrestling was the ticket for you?
Well, I knew I wasn't going to go to the NBA, so I grew up on wrestling. My dad always told me he was going to teach me things that other sports couldn't, and he's obviously right, and I trust my dad. And once I got into high school, I was 100 pounds soaking wet, so wrestling kind of chose me in a way, and luckily I was pretty decent at it.
Sophia, same thing for you. Just what was your athletic background growing up? Was it always swimming, or what else was going on in Brazil?
I was always a swimmer. My parents put me on my first swimming test when I was 1 year old, so I've always been a swimmer. And I fell in love with the sport. It was a time where I was able to shut down from the outside world, and I could focus really on the sports, and it would kind of relax my mind. So that's when I had this feeling when I'm in the water. That's when I knew swimming was my sport. And I've done it for the entire life. My ultimate goal was coming to college as a swimmer, and I was able to achieve that. So now I'm just going to run in 4 years, work as hard as I want because I love practice and I love giving 110% of myself. And I just enjoy the process so much, and I always tell myself that I need to enjoy the journey because that's the most important thing. And that's what I've been doing, and I intend on doing it until the 4 years at UNCP.
I did some research when I knew wrestling was coming with us. Found out in Brazil, they've got a form of wrestling called, I'll probably say this wrong, luta libre. Is that a pretty big thing down there? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know a lot, but there are a lot of fights in Brazil. There are some things like capoeira, and they're all physical. But wrestling is not a thing there in Brazil. It's way more a thing here in the United States.
I'll go back to you, OT. Just for both coaches, really, but I'll start with you. I want to give you each a chance. Just talk about your coaching staffs and how big of a role they play behind the scenes that people don't really see.
Yeah, I think for me, I've been fortunate to have guys that have wrestled here, and for the most part, I think everyone I've had on staff have competed for me in some form or fashion, or I've competed against. And for them to have that kind of trust to want to work with me, it's been freeing, because I trust those guys. Watching them compete, when you want someone to work with you, you want someone that you can trust because you see how hard they work in the battlefield. And these guys chose to stay here, obviously to expand their career, to learn, to ultimately become head coaches. And I think having my 3-4 guys on staff with me, all but one wrestled for me, and all but one, obviously the one that did wrestle for me were national qualifiers and All-Americans. So it says a lot about them and their willingness to trust me to kind of, want to learn underneath me. And it's actually helped me learn. I've learned something from each of them. And each of them has kind of helped me grow as a coach and as a man. Just kind of seeing how they carry themselves. You talk about a beautiful song that's, a guy that brings a different player where he's bringing something from another program that, kind of helps our guys out like this and all of our guys really. Just learn how to just, grind a little harder. You got a Scotty Jewell that, he's a lot more analytical, wants to talk about the numbers and how certain things are going to help guys win matches, but also he's a guy that's, going to go take a guy to lunch and just hang out with him and talk with him because he's young enough. He was on the team most of the guys, and it kind of helps bridge that gap between the ages. And I think that's important when we have such a big roster that we have to kind of have guys that these guys kind of lean on as someone that understands what they're going to because he just went through it with them. And I think he's been a great addition to our staff, and also it helps with the recruiting too. We can go up north and he can still have that name recognition. And then obviously you talk about a Bryce Walker, a guy that's been a mainstay in our program. He's a UNCP staple, a guy that's been around through thick and thin, a guy that's understood what it means to be a student athlete, not just a wrestler, a guy that's being here, has had his highs and lows, and I think he's used that to kind of help a lot of these young men in our roster that are struggling to show them that, hey, this is the best he gets to come in front of you, and using his own self and using his own story. But for me, that's kind of helps keep me young, man, and having those guys going and beating those guys up in the room, and then after they get done beating them up, I jump in there and kind of finish the job. It makes me feel real young. So it's fun. It's really fun, and I mean, it's kept wrestling fun for me. It's kept coaching fun for me. It's kept everything I do. These guys allow me to just be myself and grow, not just as a wrestler, but as a person as well. And it's been super great and super fortunate to have these guys, like I said, trust me to want to work with me. And I think because of that, I can already see these guys growing to superstars and leading their own programs just like the other guys in their position did. So.
For both of you guys, I'll start with you, Logan. You can pass the shot. You kind of touched on it earlier, but what has OT and coaching staff taught you both on and off the mat?
Oh, they taught me everything pretty much. I mean, they taught me how to handle adversity, like we said. They taught me how to go to class on time, set my schedule right, wake up on time. Everything has a consequence. So, I mean, you can only keep learning. So, just keep asking questions and put a smile on your face. You don't get to say it once. So, these guys are always just been there to support us whenever we need it, whether it's wrestling or emotional, school, whatever it is. These guys are always here to help.
Same thing for you, Shaq. What have we learned from OT and the staff?
I think for me, as I matured in my career, I think this program builds great men, not just great wrestlers, and that's more important. I've been on this program for 5 years, and they've held me down at my lowest moments while picking me still up at my highest. So, I don't know, I'm really grateful for them because they're the coaches I needed. Not who I wanted, but I needed, telling me what I needed here, not what I want to hear. That's what you need in a staff, And they see me more than just my wrestling. That's the more important. Like, I'm more than just wrestling to them. They want to see me successful, so that's what they're about.
And then Oscar, you got your assistant coach here, Raffaele. Just talk about what his addition has been to you and your program.
The first 3 seasons of this program were stepping stone to start elevate the level. And 2 years ago, I told the girls, I said, I'm going to find a good coach for us, to fit our program. I was lying to them, I had nobody in mind. But that summer, I met Raffaele, and he was looking for an opportunity, academically. So he was right for our program. His coaching IQ is very high, but he also had to adapt a new reality that he never had before, like a coach in college. So his ability to adapt to this and associate with the fact that he's a really good coach really helped the whole group with me. It's not a one-man show. So both of us are happy, but we're not happy for this trophy for us. We're happy for the girls. You know, we are behind this program. We don't want to be the face of the program. These girls are the ones that deserve the celebration, that deserve to be successful. We look extremely young, but you know, we like to put these girls in front of the program. They are the face of the program. They are the ones that win. So I'm so happy, and Anui is also happy, you know, to have this achievement for what the whole season and how they were able to overcome all these, you know, adversity. But then all these made us stronger, you know, and to have them go into the last competition and the last day and 2 events before the end of the championship, we were 60 points behind. And you know, it's like be 3-0 at 5 minutes of the soccer game, you know, you think there's no hope. So me and Rafael start everybody in the fly and breaststroke because we don't have any backstroker. So we went to a championship without even competing backstroke, which is crazy. But through our calculation, you know, crazy calculation, we did a 9th day, we figured out how to push them to the limit and then at the last step. So we went ahead 15 points and we knew that if we were able to hang in there in the last relay, we were able to win. So that's exactly what happened. But again, without these girls putting the points that were necessary, you know, all of them, we did 50% of personal best in this championship, which is huge, way better than last year. And we did most of it freshmen and sophomore, you know. So we only had 2 senior, that's it. So young team, extremely small, like she said, you know, we only scored with 14 girls, 13 girls. And we went against team that scored with 19 swimmers. So this achievement is huge for those reasons. And, you know, I'm so happy for them. We are so happy for them.
Sophia, just same question. What have you learned from Coach Oscar and Rafael, just not only about swimming, but about life?
Coach Oscar and Coach Rafa were definitely my support system throughout this entire season. They know how hard I am with myself when I don't get the result I want, especially on practice and competitions. So they would always tell me it was a process and that I should enjoy it, even though I didn't believe it. They believed in me more than I believed in them, on myself actually. So they said I had to swim good on the time I had to, and it was confidence, and that's exactly what happened. And even though I didn't believe it, they believed in me and they would always support me. And this has not only helped me on my athletic life and my school life, because I put so much pressure on myself with everything. So enjoying the journey and seeing it's a process makes me so relaxed, and knowing that even though my start this season wasn't the best one, I finished with 2 conference records, freshman of the year. So I'm extremely happy with this season and for the support they gave me throughout this entire season.
And then if you were with us last year, we did a little rapid fire game. We're going to do it a little different this year. Morgan's telling you get a whiteboard and a marker. I'm going to give you a category, and we're going to see if the coaches can match up with the student athletes of who best fits that category. All right, so our first one, biggest prankster. Let's see if we can match up. Biggest prankster on the team.
There's 2 answers.
And if you've got a story or something that goes along with one of these, feel free to ask for the mic and let us know. All right, so wrestling, what we got? Biggest prankster. Jake, Keegan, and Jake. All right, got a match there. Swimming. All right, swimming, what we got? Jake, Coach Rafa. And Nikki. All right, go ahead and erase those. Our second one. All right, most likely to win American Idol. American Idol, we got swimming. We got Kaylee and Elisa. Wrestling, we got Takai, Shy, and Bandana. Now that is something I would pay for to see Bandana in the same competition.
Now we got Shy, you gonna give us something?
Yeah, so you gotta sing now.
Oh, you said that's what American Idol is?
Yeah, sing.
Yeah, the singing
Oh, I
competition.
thought it was the
Talent show?
yeah.
That is a talent show.
I can rap.
Yeah, go ahead and give us something.
All right, our third one, best candidate for the FBI. Who would be best in the FBI?
Oh, you know what? Well, it's a two-person answer.
All right, wrestling, let's see, he's got two. We got Logan and Massimo. Got a Massimo. There we go, 3 for 3. Swimming. There we go. Matches all across the board. All right, our next one. Most likely to win the lottery but lose the ticket.
Is this anybody in the rest of the program?
How many names? Oh yeah.
Oh.
I bring up a breakfast.
Yes.
Either of them.
All right, wrestling. Clumsy coaching staff, it seems. All right, swimming, we got Katie and Fatima.
They be right by.
I haven't seen. They might see my keys. Hey, can I go your keys getting off this?
All right, we've got, student athletes might have an edge here, but we're going worst driver. They're probably with that cause more than the coaching
Oh
staff.
shoot!
Oh, actually, I got it.
Just got a ticket the other night. Everything is gone.
All right, wrestling, I think we got one match here. We got a match with Will. And then Bryson and Scotty swimming. We got. All right, our next one. Most likely to sleep through an earthquake.
Sleep through a dirt.
That's another one.
I'm gonna have to be a nah. I don't know.
All right, what we got swimming? We got a match here. We got a Will, 2 Wills, and a DK. All right, 2 more. We've got best person to be stranded on an island with.
This person gets stranded on the island.
What's the reason?
You just stranded.
Yeah, you're just stranded. Who do you want to be stranded with? Who could help you the most? All right, wrestling, we got Sammy D. We got a Mike Lowry, 2 Mike Lowrys, and Sam Hutchison. Swimming, we got another match here. All right, and our last one before we wrap up. Most likely to be on a reality TV show.
I should have got fries.
Hey,
Looks like wrestling's got a match. Got Takai. Swimming. Reality TV show. There we go. All right. Do we have any fan questions out there? I see a couple of assistant coaches. Anything from y'all? No, we're good out there in the audience. You got a question back there?
Sophia, what was your favorite moment of the season?
My favorite moment First on myself was definitely winning the 500 freestyle conference, because it's an event that I'm not confident in that event because I'm a real long distance swimmer, so I swim the mile, the 1,000, so I was pretty scared of the 500. And coaches believed in me so much, but I also had a lot of pressure on myself because there were only 2 people swimming the final, so I basically had to win, and I was with the second time, so when I hit the wall and I saw that I was below 5 minutes, it was an amazing experience. I was so happy. I never imagined I would do below 5 minutes. I went like 5 seconds below that NCAA cut, so I was so happy about it. And my favorite team moment was definitely getting to the podium, like holding the Conference Carolina Champions, because we went through so much this season, having to drive, having bad competitions during the season, but still we made it, and we were working so hard as a team. And I was so happy we were holding it. I was beside my family, the girls that I love so much, and they mean so much to me. And I'm already super excited for next season. I'm going to start practicing because now we're champions, so we got to work for it even more next season.
All right, that's all we got for you today. We got wrestling 2 regionals this Saturday. Hoping to send some to nationals. Stay tuned for swimming. Hopefully we get some there as well. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy your lunch. Go Braves.